gentlemen, hello again and welcome into the Lion's Den, the official source for UCCS Sports. I'm the Sports MC, MJR Jamandi, broadcasting live inside the Roar office on the beautiful campus of the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, the lovely Amber McAfee. Amber, how you doing today?
Great.
Great?
Great.
Just great?
Yep, just great.
Where do we go from great?
Even better. I don't know. Fantastic.
Fantastic? We're going to go from great to fantastic, just like all the millions and millions of listening Lions after today's show.
That's right.
Well, Amber, how was your weekend?
I had a pretty good weekend. It was, Halloween weekend. It's my favorite holiday, so...
Favorite holiday?
Yeah.
What makes it your favorite holiday?
I don't know. I'm a huge fan of, scary stuff, so...
Scary stuff?
Yeah.
What'd you do that was scary stuff?
Watch a bunch of scary movies.
Scary movies?
That was my Halloween and working. And then
scary movie? What's your favorite scary movie?
Probably Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
Ooh.
Gotta go.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
Ooh. What about new age scary movies? Any good ones?
Not really. I feel like the new ones are just more like blood and gore too.
Yeah.
You can't come up with anything else.
Yeah. Where's the originality?
Yeah.
I really like that movie Paranormal Activity.
I didn't like it.
I thought that was a great movie, and I thought it was really good until I found out there was an alternate ending. And then I'm like, okay, well, clearly this isn't real. There's an alternate ending. I thought that shit was real, and I was like, oh, man, that's pretty good. And then they had an alternate ending. I'm like, well, of course, this isn't real then. That killed it. If they would have just left it with no alternate ending, I was a little frightened by that one.
Would have been more of a true, realistic story.
Yeah.
I don't like Paranormal Activity. I didn't think it was scary.
No?
No. I feel like the only time I jumped is because of my friend who gets super scared easily. She would scream, and there was nothing there. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was scary enough.
I don't like ghosts. Ghosts scare me.
Well, guess we can't party together ever.
Paranormal Activity scares me. Why, you like partying with ghosts?
I do. No,
Really?
I'm just kidding.
I don't like ghosts. Ghosts scare me. They're pretty intimidating figures. I mean, yeah, how can you fight a ghost? If a ghost wants to mess with you, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to sit there and take it. You can't fight back. You can't hit him. You can't shank him. You can't shoot him. You just gotta sit there and take it. And try to talk to him. Get a Ouija board out. And be like, hey, man, come talk to me spiritually.
Ouija board is so bad.
They are bad.
I don't like Ouija boards.
They're scary, aren't they?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I like scary stuff, but I don't like Ouija boards. So there you go.
Ouija boards are kind of scary.
Yeah.
I think they're really scary.
They're creepy.
They are creepy.
I don't know.
So what else did you do this weekend, Amber? You just watched some scary movies and what else? Anything else?
Not really. I mean, worked and did some homework. My Redskins won in overtime. That was pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, they did. That was a really good game, actually.
Yeah. So,
I bet you got to be pleased with the outcome of that one, huh?
Yes. Yes.
So are they about to make a run?
I hope so. I mean, our division isn't all that great, so, I mean, we're still in the runnings for playoffs, so.
That's right.
There.
The division's not good. I, on the other hand, am in a much different division. My division's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
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 But what are you going to do? Doesn't really matter if you're in a good division if your team still sucks.
I don't know, maybe they'll be like the Chiefs, like I said last week. They're going to come back next year and they're going to, win all games straight.
You think so?
I think so.
The Raiders are?
Yes.
I hope so.
You won't be the laughing stock of Colorado anymore.
You think?
Yep.
Well, as long as the Broncos are still in town, I think I'm always still going to have something to do with. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Still got to rep my team.
True.
You know what other teams I got to represent?
UCCS.
That's right, because they are killing it.
That's right.
We had a lot of stuff going down this past weekend, as you know, but a lot of good things happened. A week ago, we were still with a lot of uncertainty, Amber, as to where the soccer teams were going to finish, if they were going to make it into the playoffs or not, if we were going to host, if we weren't, and what was going to happen. But we have all the answers to that now.
Yep.
Because things have unfolded. We had a couple of games on Friday night here at home. We had a couple of games on the road on Sunday in Pueblo. We had volleyball in action. Men's basketball was in action.
Right.
Stuff went down. Of course, we got cross country to talk about. They were not in action, but they're gonna be.
We're gonna be, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
So
Yeah, we're gonna be. Well, I'm not, but you are.
Yeah, I'll be. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll be there supporting
Yeah,
while the rest of them run.
putting it down.
Yes.
Nicely done. So we do got to talk about some of that stuff.
All right.
Probably all of it.
Do it.
Yeah, we probably should talk about it. we got stuff to talk about here, Amber, and a lot of it is regarding UCCS athletics. So what we're going to do now is take a little break here on the Lions Den, and when we come back, we're going to get to UCCS men's soccer because they went 2-0 this past weekend, putting it down at the end of the season. So we got stuff to talk about, as I mentioned, and we're going to do that right here on the Lions Den when we get back from break. So don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS Sports.
Rising up, back on the street. Did my time, took my chances. Went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive. So many times it happens too fast. You trade your passion for glory. Don't lose your grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. They stack the odds, still we take to the street for the kill, with the skill to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night, and he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. Rising up, straight to the top. Had the guts, got the glory. Went the distance, now I'm not gonna stop. Just a man and his will to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rival. And the last known survivor stalks his prey in the night. And he's watching us all with the eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger. Eye of the tiger. The eye of the tiger.
Hello, I'm Pam Shockley-Zalabak, and you are tuned into the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS Sports.
In a world where music cannot be contained, one show has risen to claim the title. The Brave and the Bold. Listen live Mondays at 5 p.m. or catch the rebroadcast on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. only on UCCS Radio.
Fanáticos de la música, listen every Friday at 5 p.m. or Sundays at 9 a.m. to hear my show La Zacatecana playing solo la mejor música right here on UCCS Radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS Sports. Amber McAfee. I say we're the official source for UCCS Sports. What makes us the official source for UCCS Sports?
We give the inside scoops on everything and anything UCCS related, sports-wise. That means interview with the coaches, telling you what...
Oh, wait, like Nicole Ridenauer, head coach of the UCCS women's soccer team from last week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly like that.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe an interview with the players on the team.
Oh.
Or just finding out how our teams did overall.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, because we got all that.
Yes.
We got no guests today, but it is just you and I, and we got a lot to talk about because, as we mentioned before we went to break, the UCCS men's soccer team was in action this past weekend, and wow, did they come to play. You talk about catching fire at the right time, Amber. Woo! 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 I mean, they were on fire. They had an unbelievable weekend this past weekend, and, I mean, it started on Friday night. Friday night, they went 5-0 with goals scored against Colorado Christian. 5-0 shutout.
Crazy.
That is crazy. They had an unbelievable weekend. And how about the play of Matthew Cox?
Awesome. Yeah.
I mean, he was one goal away on Friday night from a hat trick.
Yep.
So he comes back out on Sunday, says, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and get that hat trick now. He got 2 goals against the Cougars on Friday night and helped lead the Mountain Lions to that 5-0 victory. But then on Sunday against the rival, CSU Pueblo, he's like, you know what? I didn't get that hat trick on Friday. I think I kind of wanted that.
Had to come back. Vengeance.
Vengeance.
Yes.
It was had.
Had some unfinished business.
Yeah. I mean, so that was pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good stuff. So, I mean, for the fans that weren't in attendance that night, it was all Mountain Lions all night long, at least on Friday night here at home, the final regular season home game for the season for UCCS, and they really held their own. They came out, they defended home field. I mean, it was an unbelievable game, Amber.
Right. I think they finished their season off really well. Like the game on Friday, they tied their season high goals. I mean, that was the most goals they scored all season, which almost tied their score for last year, which was 6 goals. So, I mean, that was really impressive on their part. And, I mean, Brandon Costa came out with 14th shutout, and that was like his career.
So good.
Yeah, that was like his career high. So it was a great game weekend for them.
Yeah, all the way around.
Yep.
I mean, you just looking at the stat sheet, and you're seeing numbers pop out at you that don't normally pop out at you. Some first ever goals on Friday night. What a time to get your first ever
Right.
goal.
Like Justin Miller, he just came off the bench and scored his first goal of his career, and Liam Levy-Phillip
Oh, yeah.
also scored his first goal of his career, which, you know, helped us gain that 5-0 lead against Colorado Christian. So,
Yeah, what a time to score your first goal of your
Right?
career. In the last regular season home game against a team you got to get up for. The Mountain Lions had to win these 2 games to really give themselves a good chance at being in the playoffs, and they did. They said, oh, we need 2 wins? Okay, well, we'll get 2 wins. No big deal.
how you make it into the playoffs?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Amber. That's how you do it. I mean,
Right.
when your back is against the wall, it's how are you going to respond? And they responded by playing quite possibly the best 2 matches of soccer that they've played all season long on back-to-back games. I mean, that's what you do. That's what good teams do. They win when they need to win.
That's right. We've definitely delivered today, over the weekend, and proved that we deserve that spot in the playoffs. So,
That's right, and they got that spot.
right, I'm excited to see how this is going to go down when they play on Wednesday. So, Should be fun.
That's right. The playoffs are on Wednesday. Mountain Lions are in. They snagged that 6th seed, and that is exciting stuff for the men's team. They've had some ups, they've had some downs, but it really is about when do you play your best game. You know, like we were talking a couple weeks ago about the cross country, Amber, and how some of the runners were running their best times during, when it mattered most.
Right.
That's when you want to record those best times. That's when you want to get a hat trick.
That's right.
If you're Matthew Cox, you want a hat trick every game. But if you're going to pick one game to do it, you want it to be against the rival CSU Pueblo, the final regular season game of the season, a game that you want to win to get into the postseason. I mean, you talk about catching fire at the right time.
Right, and he did it.
Woo.
So I was like, Matthew Cox, right there.
Impressive, right?
Right.
Impressive. It doesn't get much more impressive than that. So definitely hats off, or hats a trick, for Matthew Cox and the rest of the men's team, because that was a phenomenal stand this weekend to win at home 5-0. I mean, it was goal after goal after goal after goal. Like, oh my gosh, when are they going to stop? I was calling that game, Amber, as you know, with the coach of your team, David Harmer, was doing color commentary with me, and that was such a fun broadcast. I mean, some broadcasts are more fun than others because of the level of play by the team.
Right.
And that was as fun as it gets. It was so much fun. So, again, congratulations to the men's soccer team in the postseason. And so, the investigator that I am, Amber, I went and I caught up with head coach Johnny Keene. And I wanted to get the feel for what his thoughts were about the run that the Mountain Lions are on, kind of the upcoming game on Wednesday against the Mavericks of Colorado Mesa. So I think it would be fitting that we go ahead and jump to that interview and see what it is that Johnny Keene thinks about this whole scenario. So right now, here's Johnny Keene, the UCCS men's soccer coach. Joined now by head coach of the UCCS men's soccer team, Coach Johnny Keene. Coach Keene, can you talk a little bit about the two big wins this past weekend? UCCS beats the rival CSU Pueblo 3-1, and then at home on Friday night beat Colorado Christian 5-0. Both of those games were must-wins in order to get into the postseason. So can you talk a little bit about those games and how it feels now that you are in the tournament? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. Technical difficulties, that's going to happen to the best of us here on the Lions Den, and it does from time to time. But we're ready to go now with that interview from head coach Johnny Keene. So here's not a song, but an interview. I'm joined now by head coach of the UCCS men's soccer team, Coach Johnny Keene. Coach Keene, can you talk a little bit about the two big wins this past weekend? UCCS beats the rival CSU Pueblo 3-1. And then at home on Friday night, beat Colorado Christian 5-0. Both of those games were must-wins in order to get into the postseason. So can you talk a little bit about those games and how it feels now that you are in the tournament?
Sure. Obviously, the two wins and two convincing wins speaks to the character of our team, especially after coming off a rough week at Mons and Regis the week before. Reflecting back to those two losses at Mons and Regis, we were in a eight-day stretch where we had 4 games, and really we were struggling at that point physically, and we had some sick guys. Not to make too many excuses, but we were certainly struggling. But everyone's back and healthy now, and it showed in these 2 games, and having a day off this last Sunday gave us 7 days of rest to prepare for the weekend. So that was an ideal situation for us, and the guys rose to the occasion, and very proud of them. And this is the right time to peak, just before the tournament.
Well, you mentioned the idea of getting healthy, and one player who looked as healthy as I've ever seen him was Matthew Cox, who sat out last season due to injury, but he's back now. He had a hat trick against CSU Pueblo and scored 2 goals against Colorado Christian, so 5 goals in 2 games. He is definitely back and better than ever, I would say. What's this kid been eating, and how is it that he's been able to score so much as of late?
I'm not sure exactly what he's been eating. We have gotten on him about his nutrition, certainly. So I hope he's eating a little better. But Matt's always been a great player, and he's had a lot of bad luck in his career here. Certainly 2 broken legs, and he even sprained his ankle early in the season when we played in Grand Junction at Mesa, and he was out for a few games, and he's still hobbling around on that ankle. But I knew at some point he was going to come through for us, and now he gets to go back to Mesa where he got injured earlier in the season, and while he's hot, he's if you watch the games, 3 of the 5 goals that he scored were very high quality goals, and not many players have that ability. Certainly looking forward to having Matt on the field and healthy for the tournament. And looking forward to next season, his senior year. He's had a rough 4 years here, and I really predict he's going to have a standout senior season for us.
Or even a great postseason run right now.
That's the first thing on my mind for sure.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that he's going back to Grand Junction to play Colorado Mesa, and that's the first matchup for the team in the tournament. You're going to play them on Wednesday night, and the Mountain Lions have played the Mavericks twice already this season, tied both times. They both were at a stalemate, 1-1 in Grand Junction, 0-0 here at home. So how do you feel about the matchup down in Grand Junction against Colorado Mesa, who you've tied both times this season?
Well, I feel great about the matchup, and the team does as well. Obviously, it's a long trip out there, but that's no big deal. We'll deal with that. We've struggled at Mons for the last 2 seasons, and came down to the wire. It was we were either going to Mons or going to Mesa, and if we had the choice, we wanted to go to Mesa. So very happy with the matchup, and this is the first time that we're going to play Mesa at full strength with everyone healthy, and it's a good matchup for us. Obviously, we had them at home last season. We had that advantage, but I know that our guys are ready, and we're going to play them well up there. I actually spoke with our coach this morning, asked him for some warm-up time on the field for Saturday, if we can get out and have a little practice, Wednesday morning before the game. And his comment after that was, you guys can have an hour on the field Wednesday morning, but you got to let us play 12 players, and you're not allowed to play Matthew Cox because he's out right now. So I can tell you they're nervous. Mesa's certainly nervous to have us up playing them, and I guarantee you when they, the first words out of their coach's mouth were probably pretty choice when he noticed that UCCS was coming to town to play them. So,
well, you mentioned earlier that this is the right time to peak, and the Mountain Lions have not looked better all season long than they did on Friday night and then on Sunday against Pueblo. So, what's your prediction against Colorado Mesa on Wednesday? What do you predict?
Well, I do not predict another tie. I can tell you that much. And I predict that both teams are going to come out firing. I feel like we're going to have the edge, the mental edge on Mesa after a tough loss to Regis on Sunday. Their coach mentioned that they let a couple of goals in that was not typical of their squad, and they've been the best defensive squad so far this season. However, we're the best offensive squad coming out of this last weekend, and up until the weekend, I think we only had 13 goals, to the good, and then we scored 8 goals over the weekend. So we, in just one weekend, we nearly scored as many goals as we have all season, and I expect that to happen some more up in Grand Junction. So I'm giving us the edge. Our guys are ready. So,
well, of course, I'll be rooting for you, Coach. Good luck on Wednesday.
All right, thanks, MJ.
Yep. And that was head coach of the UCCS men's soccer team, Johnny Keene. And a big matchup, Amber, on Saturday. UCCS going to play Colorado Mesa, the first round of the RMAC tournament. That is exciting stuff. And head coach Johnny Keene feels very confident, as you can tell from that interview, that this team has caught fire at the right time, and they can really make a deep playoff run. And I tell you, Amber, if they play like they did on Friday night, the way that they played against the Cougars, if they play like that from here on out, it's going to be tough for any team to beat them.
Well, I think it's going to be possible. I mean, the team is strong, like he said. They're not sick. They're all healthy again. It's going to be a really great game on Wednesday, so I'm excited.
I couldn't agree more. For the millions and millions of listening Lions out there, if you want to make a trip to Grand Junction, now would be the time, because this is going to be a great game. At the very least, though, continue to check out GoMountainLions.com for all the latest news and information regarding that game, because we're going to have all the updates for you at the website. So, good stuff. That is really good stuff. Congratulations to the team who had to win 2 games this weekend to get into the postseason. They did it, and they have yet to look better all season long. And so this could be a long postseason run. At least they're hoping for it.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Amber says it's happening.
It's going to happen.
The prediction has been made right here on the Lions Den. Well, we got more to cover here on the Lions Den when we come back, but we got to take a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere. You're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS Sports.
I'm Matthew Cox from the men's soccer team, and you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS Sports.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright.
I'm Scott Peterson, head coach of the UCCS softball team, and you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source of UCCS sports.
Hey everyone, this is Ingrid J with The Scene Radio, and my show features local music, art, poetry, and cultural events. Check us out on Facebook at The Scene Radio, one word. And you want me to play your music or promote some of your shows? Please give me a message and I'd love to support you. Peace, love, namaste.
November 8th, professional boxing returns to Colorado Springs. Get ready for an electrifying night of action. Colorado's top professional boxers look to become rising stars in the sport, but they first must meet the challenges ahead. Friday, November 8th at 7:30 p.m., live at the Colorado Springs Event Center. Purchase your tickets for Professional Boxing Friday Night Fights on www.wanttickets.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports. Amber, we got more stuff to cover here on the Lions Den because the men's soccer team was not the only team in action this past weekend.
Nope.
No, they did get 2 wins, so they were the most successful team of the weekend with their 2 wins, but certainly not the only team in action. The women's team for soccer was also in action this past weekend. I don't think that it turned out as well as they would have liked it to have turned out because on Friday night they hosted their final regular season game of the season,
Right.
and it actually turned out to be their final home game at all this season. They were really hopeful that they were going to win that game, win on Sunday against Pueblo, and host a first-round game this upcoming Wednesday, but New Mexico Highlands had other plans. Yeah, they had alternative plans because the Cowgirls came to town, and the Cowgirls wrangled up the Mountain Lions on Friday night. They got a big 2-0 win here at UCCS. The Mountain Lions fell a little bit short.
A little bit.
Just 2 goals short.
Just 2 goals.
Just 2 goals worth. I mean, it's not that they played bad, but it just looked like the Cowgirls wanted it that much more.
Right.
At least on Friday night. And the Mountain Lions, they didn't win that game. Then they went to Pueblo on Sunday, played the Thunderwolves. And in a tough matchup there, they lost 1-0.
Oh, it's rough.
It is rough, Amber, because even more devastating than the loss, I mean, it always hurts to lose, but the Mountain Lions are still in the playoffs.
Right.
Due to the way things broke out in the standings and the way everybody finished, the Mountain Lions are in.
Whoop.
They are, yeah, that's worth a whoop whoop.
That's worth celebrating, guys.
That's right, that's definitely worth a whoop whoop. But they're limping in now after losing the previous 2, and a really devastating blow is that Agnes Arnedottir got a red card with less than 15 minutes left against Pueblo in a game in which they were already likely going to lose. I think Arnedottir was a little frustrated with the way things were turning out, and it was more of a frustration card. But a bad card nonetheless, because now Agnes Arnedottir, who goes down as arguably the greatest offensive player in program history, is going to miss out on the first playoff game this season.
That sucks so bad.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's just more of a drive for the soccer team to go out there and get the win so Agnes can come back and play.
That's right. Knowing that Arnedottir will be back in the next game, if the Mountain Lions can take care of business in the first game, then all of a sudden, I mean, they become a really dangerous threat because Agnes will be back in the second game.
Right.
The first game is going to be on Wednesday at 2:30 against Fort Lewis. It's in Durango, and it's a winnable matchup for the Mountain Lions. So that's exciting stuff, Amber. We talk about the men's team getting into the playoffs, the women's team into the playoffs. That's consecutive years now that both the men's and women's soccer team have been in the postseason.
Impressive.
It is impressive.
It's going to be great games on Wednesday.
It is.
Go to one of them.
Yeah, I mean, if not, go to both.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, road trip, right?
Yep.
Hit the road trip. Let's do it. Yeah, what are you doing, Amber? You going to go?
Hopefully.
Hopefully
I can make
yeah,
it.
yeah. That'll be fun. I am kind of bummed, though, because I really wanted a home playoff game because I was going to get to do the play-by-play for that.
That would have been fun.
It was
That
so
would've
much
been
fun on
exciting.
Friday. That was the first time I've ever done play-by-play for soccer, and it was on TV, and it was such an intense game and so much riding on the line. That was a blast.
Awesome.
It was awesome. It was an absolute blast, Amber. You know what else is a blast? Calling volleyball.
That is.
You
so
know
fun.
all about that, right?
Yes. Yeah, that was really fun. I enjoyed calling volleyball.
Well, what are you going to do this Friday?
Call volleyball.
Oh, that's right. Because the women's volleyball team is in action this upcoming weekend as the Mountain Lions are going to host their final regular season home games of the 2013 campaign. And our own Amber McAfee is going to be broadcasting Friday night's game. You're going solo on Friday.
Whoop.
That's right. I'll join you on Saturday. But Friday, I'm going to be at the basketball games in Fort Collins.
Oh.
So that's all you for volleyball Friday night.
I'm excited.
That is going to be fun. A couple of big matchups for the volleyball. So we got to go ahead and jump to UCCS volleyball now because they were in action as well this past weekend, and they had some tough opponents. They played two of the tougher teams in all the RMAC, and I think if we talked to head coach Chrissy Elder about what she thought would have happened, she still wanted to come out with some victories.
Right.
She still expected some victories, but at the same time, we got to understand that they were playing some tough teams. Regis is a very tough team. Metro State, very tough team. I mean, look at the records for each of these teams. Regis, the Rangers are 11-4 in conference play. Metro State 10-5 in conference play. I mean, both of these teams, they're not easy.
No, not at all. They're like top contenders for the RMAC.
Oh yeah,
division, so
absolutely. These are going to be. Those are the schools we're going to hear about competing for the championship if the Mountain Lions are not able to get on a run and make a run for the championship themselves.
Right.
It's going to be some of these teams that we're playing right now in the final stretch that we hear again.
It's true.
It was a tough match, though. Friday night, the Mountain Lions lost in straight sets, although the first two were very competitive, very closely contested. The first set, the Mountain Lions lost by just 2 points. It was a really good matchup, really good first game. Second game, Mountain Lions lost by 4. Third game, it looked like they were a little beat up, and they lost by 10 in that one. I think it's tough to lose 2 in a row to a tough team on the road. That third set,
It's hard to come back.
you feel like you lost already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep your drive going.
Yeah, it was rough. But Grace Gordon, with a match-high attack percent of 571, had team highs of 10 digs and 20 assists. Gordon came to play.
That's right.
Gordon was on top of her game.
Awesome.
She did great. And then Laura Luzbrock, our own Mountain Lion representative here on the Lions Den, she had 8 kills and 4 block assists. That was a pretty good showing for her.
That is.
And then Cassidy Bush, 8 block assists. It was a block party. And Bush was the host. She was dominating at the net. And the Mountain Lions came back on Saturday night, another good matchup. And they actually stunned Metro State a little bit because they took the first set. The Mountain Lions were trailing the majority of that first set, but came back to win it 26-24.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, a little overtime, overtime action.
Awesome.
But then Metro State said, hey, we're Metro State, and we're going to win the next 3. And then they kind of did. And that was the end of that matchup. Mountain Lions lost that one, 3-1. But Laura Luzbrock, another good matchup that night. She finished with a career high, or matched a career high, with 10 kills. That was a good night for Laura Luzbrock. She finished hitting .529 on the night, so very proficient night as well. She had a great night. And then our other Mountain Lion representative, Jordan Banich, a little delayed bump, but she had a good night too. That 8 kills, 5 digs, and a block assist. And then Kristen Chaka with 9 kills. You know, this Mountain Lion team is good, and they have a lot of really talented players. It just seems to me like they don't all show up on the same night.
Right. They all kind of just come.
Yeah.
If they can just like find
Right.
a way to bring it all on the same night. it's
That's
gonna
what I
be
think,
great.
Amber. I really do think that. Because the first night you had Bush with 8 block assists. The next night she wasn't quite as dominant. Luzbrock had 10 kills. on that second night, but not a lot of help offensively the night before.
Right.
And you just get the feel that if this team can all show up on the same night for the same matchup, that they are a really tough team. It just seems like from match to match, one or two players really get up, and a couple of the other ones depend on the rest.
Right.
And you got to get them all. You get them all showing up at the same time. You have a great setter in Grace Gordon. Heather Sanders is one of the top liberos in the conference. She is great on the defensive end of things. Kristen Chalk always hits for a high percent if she can just get more attacks in.
Right.
Laura Luzbrock, when she's on, she's on. Jordan Banich, a threat each and every night. Kim Catlett, if you can feed Kim Catlett, she is a beast. I mean, she can dominate.
Yep. Our team's amazing, actually, when you think about it. They just got to put the puzzle together.
That's
which
right.
Hopefully they'll do on Friday. So.
I know you're hoping for that on Friday because you're calling the match on Friday.
What a great game.
That's right. Well, it always makes for a better broadcast when our teams do well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, it just helps the cause a little bit.
It does.
So these are very important matches, though. I mean, because when you look at the standings right now, the Mountain Lions are on the outside looking into things, and this is their final homestand of the regular season against two teams that really, on paper, the Mountain Lions should dominate.
Right.
This should be 6 sets all weekend long. The Mountain Lions should sweep both of these. And in fact, I'm predicting 6 sets is all we see this weekend. I'm hoping it's for the better end of things that we win the 6 sets. But
It's going to happen, though, because I feel like they're going to come off of the 2 losses that they had and really learn from what they had, didn't do right or whatever, and then they're going to come back with a bigger drive to go get those final 2 games so that they can make it into the final tournament. So I think it's going to happen.
I hope so, Amber. there really is a lot riding on the line here because, again, if the Mountain Lions want to make a push and get into the postseason, you got to win the games that on paper you should win.
Right.
And these are those. These are those. Shadron State, Black Hill State, the 2 bottom teams in all the RMAC. You're at home for the final homestand. You got to take care of business. It's got to be done. And so that is something that has to happen, Amber. It's got to happen. And you know what else has got to happen?
What?
Soon? Cross country happens soon.
That's right.
So why don't you tell the millions and millions of listening Lions out there what the cross country scene looks like before we jump to our next break, because they were not in action this past weekend, but rumor has it that they're going to be real soon.
Right. We'll be in action this weekend in Texas.
Oh,
and
Texas!
This is the regionals meet, so it's basically what we need to do is get in the top 6 for both the boys and girls to make it to nationals again. So it's a really big meet. Gonna love the support. They have to believe for for us it's gonna be important because we want to be back-to-back nationals 2 years in a row, both girls and boys. So it's a big meet.
They can do it.
Yeah.
That's quite the accomplishment, I must say.
Yep.
But they got to take care of business.
Right.
In Texas.
Yeah, and it'll be nice for them because it's mostly flat terrain for them, so they don't have too many hills to go up of, on the course. So it'll be nice. Good weather, won't be cold and snowing like it is in Colorado.
So what's your prediction, Amber? What's your prediction? What's going to happen? Who are the names that we're going to be talking about in 1 week from today when we come back for next week's episode of The Lions Den? Who are we going to be talking about?
I think should keep an eye out for Lena Arista, our freshman on the team.
Oh, freshie.
She came up and really proved herself. So she's going to be making some noise. Angie Martell. And
She's
Veronica
always
Kimball.
making noise.
Yeah, I was like, they're always in
She's
there.
noisy.
Yes.
In a good way.
And then on the guys' side, Nick Baca and Matt Winfrey, we're Ryder Tam, Luke, they're going to be putting in the work for the guys' side. Hopefully, they're going to end up taking it 4th or higher for both girls and guys. That's the plan for the teams. Hopefully, they can do it. If not, they just got to get in the top 6, make it to nationals.
That's right. Nationals going to the ship.
Right.
To the ship. All right. Well, that is good stuff. So lots to look out for cross country for the fans out there. And so when do you leave? When are you going to run to Texas? I'd imagine it takes at least a couple days to run there.
They're leaving on Thursday.
And that's
so-
straight Forrest Gump style. You're going to run there on Thursday and then compete right. Oh my gosh, that's great. That is good stuff. Well, I wish you the best of luck and the rest of the teams. And of course, we're going to be talking about it here on the Lions Den in about 1 week.
Right.
That's right. So, fans, we got to take another commercial break. When we come back, though, we're going to cover the UCCS basketball scene because the season is starting. We got a couple of interviews to share with the millions and millions of listening Lions out there. So don't go anywhere. You are tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports. And we'll be back in just a few moments right here on UCCS Radio.
Time is on slipping into the future. Time is on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I wanna fly. Fly right into the future. I wanna feed the babies. We can't get enough to eat. Wanna shoot the children. No shoes on their feet. I wanna house people living in the street. Oh yeah, there's a solution. Let me fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let that spirit carry me.
Hello, I'm DJ King 7 with the Warrior Don Christian for Yada the King Radio. Tune in on Thursdays at 6 p.m. on radio.uccs.edu to get it in with us.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports. We got about 10 minutes left of the show. My partner Amber had to bounce to go take care of some things, so it's just MJ in the studio flying solo, but that's all right. We got a few things here still to cover as pertains to UCCS athletics. The first and foremost is UCCS basketball has begun. The Mountain Lions went to Laramie, Wyoming this past Thursday night and played Division I Wyoming in what turned out to be a great performance for UCCS. The Mountain Lions were down by as many as 26 points on multiple occasions and made a run and ended up being in position to steal that game again against Division I Wyoming. The Mountain Lions fell short by 4 points in the end. The final score 85-81. But what a great night it was for the men's basketball team. Derek White led all scorers with 25 points. Division II, Derek White leading all Division I players with 25 points. That's right. Derek White is legit. Not only a freshman of the year for the RMAC last season, but he's putting it down against D1 Wyoming. What a great night for him. A great night for many different Mountain Lions. They are a really good team. I got to tell you, head coach Jeff Culver has done such an amazing job from one season to the next. He's just entering his second season as head coach of the basketball team, but I expect big things from that team, and it is really exciting to see. Jeff Culver is a phenomenal coach, and the Mountain Lions are excited as well. I did some interviews with the captains last week to get their feel on the current standings and their projections and all these things. So we're going to go ahead and jump to some of those interviews right now with the UCCS men's basketball team captains. I'm joined now by Alan Paul, the captains for the UCCS men's basketball team. Alan, you sat out last season, but you're back this season. So what can we expect from you this season, and how has that transition been from sitting out last season to being a captain now this season for the basketball team?
You expect some leadership. Last year was very humbling. Sat on the bench, sat on the sideline, watched every game. I got a new aspect of the game. Was able to learn by watching, learn these players' aspects, and you could just expect leadership from an older veteran.
And so you have played for the former head coach now, and now the new head coach, Jeff Culver, who's in his second season. Can you talk a little bit about how that transition has been from coaching styles and what we can expect from a coaching philosophy possibly this season from Jeff Culver?
It's been amazing. He's a great coach, knows the game very well. He's also a very great mentor. Talk to him on a personal basis, day to day. He's a player's coach. He's very personable. You can talk to him about anything. So that transition has been amazing.
So the team this season has been projected to finish 9th place by the coaches poll preseason, which means you're on the outside looking into the playoff picture. Do you feel like that's a fair assessment of where this team is going to finish? If not, where do you think this team is going to finish this season?
It's very low. Watching, again, on the sideline, we lost a couple leaders to injury, but also we had a lot of a lot of heartbreak losses, very close ones. I feel like we're around that corner now, so I can see ourselves top 5, maybe even top 3 in the RMAC.
So you're projecting you're going to make the playoffs?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck this season, Alan.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yep. And that was Alan Paul, one of the 3 men's captains for the UCCS basketball team. And we got a couple more interviews to share with you right now here on the Lions Den, starting with Tim Billingsley, another UCCS basketball team captain. I'm joined now by Tim Billingsley, who is one of 3.
This is MJ Martin. Tuesdays at 10
for the Lions Den,
Tim,
the
this will
official
be your
source
first
for
season as a
UCCS
Mountain
Sports.
Lion. And you can get your corn dogs on.
There's no corn dogs, Martin. And there's never a bad time for a promo for UCCS, his own sports radio show, The Lions Den. But indeed, that was not what we were going for.
Sports.
So what we are going for is this interview with Tim Billingsley. So first, how do you feel about this season and about being here at UCCS on the basketball?
I'm so excited.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS. So how is the knee? You mentioned you're coming back from injury. Well, that's not the interview either. I don't know what's going on here on the Lions Den today. Having a lot of technical difficulties trying to sort all that stuff out. But nonetheless, we did meet up with the captains of the men's basketball team. So be sure to check that out on the YouTube page for UCCS Athletics. We got a great interview with Tim Billingsley and Alex, the three-point crippler Kohler. I conducted a few interviews with the guys last week to get their thoughts on how the season is going to shape up and where they project things are going to finish. And very confident captains for the men's basketball team this season. We also got some great interviews with the women's captains as well, so be sure to check those out because a lot of great things happening on the women's side of things as well. I talked to captains Abby Kirchhoff, Jerry Pickle, and Sammy Gentile, all the captains for the women's team. That's going to be on the official YouTube page as well for UCCS Athletics, so be sure to check that out. I also talked today with head coach Jeff Culver, the men's basketball coach, and Corey Laster, the women's basketball coach. Those interviews should also be on YouTube fairly shortly, but be sure to check out all that stuff on the YouTube page. And, of course, be sure to check everything else out on GoMountainLions.com for all the latest news, information, and highlights, and including all of the upcoming events. We got a couple of postseason games starting. The tournament is beginning on Wednesday for UCCS soccer, which leads us to the final portion of the Lions Den, the What to Watch For. So, of course, you're going to want to watch out for the UCCS soccer. They're going to be in the playoffs, in the postseason, starting on Wednesday. The women and the men all in action. You got to check that stuff out. The women's soccer is going to be at 6 o'clock on Wednesday in Grand Junction against Colorado Mesa. The women's soccer going to be in Durango against Fort Lewis at 2:30. Huge games, and hopefully the Mountain Lions get a couple of big wins to continue the playoff run. But more stuff to watch out for this weekend. Volleyball going to be in action Friday night. Our own Amber McAfee going to be providing play-by-play for that game. Mountain Lions are going to take on Shattern State at 7 o'clock here at home at the Gallagher Events Center. Saturday night, the team will be back in action against Black Hills State, also at 7 o'clock, and I'll be joining Amber for the play-by-play on that one. That'll be a great broadcast. And then on Friday, we also have basketball in action. Both the men's and women's team going to be going up to Fort Collins to take on CSU Fort Collins. That's going to be a great game. You know, you talk about playing your rival. The Mountain Lions' rival is CSU. You know, and the Mountain Lions are not really taking on the rival this time. They're more taking on the rival's older brother. You know, when you're a kid and you're fighting with your enemy and you beat them up all the time like we do to CSU Pueblo, well, every once in a while, the guy you're picking on or the girl you're picking on has got to go get their older brother and sister. In this case, that is CSU Pueblo, and they're getting CSU Fort Collins and hoping that CSU takes care of business against the Mountain Lions because UCCS is playing another Division I team. But I tell you, the Mountain Lions play on Friday like they did last week. They could easily come away with a huge upset against Fort Collins. So keep an eye out for that. And as Amber mentioned earlier, we got cross country on the schedule as well. The NCAA South Central Regional Championships, Saturday, 10 a.m. in Texas. Be sure to check that out. And also be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at The Lions Den UCCS, and of course, be sure to stalk us in real life. Well, for another great edition of The Lions Den, for Amber McAfee, I'm MJ Arjamandi signing off till next time, saying, Go Mountain Lions!